Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone and also to Madam Nasrin. So today we are going to give a presentation for economy topic 3 elasticity. So in this presentation it contains of 4 questions that will be explained by 4 of us. So before we go any further, let us introduce ourselves first. So the first one is me, Fadenish Berizwan, and I will give an explanation for question 1.
And next is me, Muhammad Shafiq bin Nur Shamsul Kamal, and I will be answering the question number 2.
And next, Muhammad Shaiman bin On, and I'm will explain about question number 3.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Muasafi bin Muhammad Zubir, and I will explain to question number 4.
Okay, next slide. Okay, now we will go to question 1. The question 1, for question 1, I will give the explanation for it. So before we answer it, let me read it first. So in this question, it say that Kai is a manager at a local store and has the following data for 2 products. The true product is he have the product for inelastic demand good and elastic demand good. So what the question wants is the owner of the firm or Kai wants to maximize the revenue for each product. So she asked Kai to calculate the value of elasticity and Kai asked us, where we are the economic student, to calculate price elasticity of demand for both product, and we need to give advice to Kai which price to choose based on our economic knowledge. So the first thing to do is we need to calculate the price elasticity for elastic demand and elastic demand. So before we calculate, we need to know what is the formula to calculate the price elasticity for demand. So the formula is elasticity of demand, or EDX, equal to percentage change in quantity demanded of good divided by percentage change in price of good, and or more detail is EDS equal to new quantity demanded minus all quantity demanded divided by all quantity demanded times with all price divide with new price minus all price. Now let's go to next slide. Okay, first we calculate the price elasticity of demand for inelastic demand. So let's assume that the price for this will be decreased from $20 to $15. So our old price is $20 and our new price is $15, and our old quantity is 80 and our new quantity demanded is 19. So using the formula of price elasticity of demand, we calculate it. For quantity, we need to new quantity which is 19 minus with all quantity which is 80 divide by all quantity demanded 80 times with all price which is $20 divide with new price $15 minus with all price $20, and the price elasticity we got is negative 0.5, and we need to ignore the negative figure because the figure just want to show the negative relationship of demand. So the price elasticity is 0.5. So because of the 0, it show that it in elastic demand because elasticity must be at least 1 or above. So in this, we can state that if the price decreased by 1%, the quantity demanded for good will increase by 0.5 and vice versa. So this is for inelastic demand. And next slide. Okay, now let's calculate for elastic demand. So let's assume same like before, where the price will be decreased from $20 to $15. So the price is still same, old price will be $20 and new price will be $15. But the difference is for quantity demanded, where our old quantity demanded is 50 and new quantity demanded is 120. So same like before, using the elasticity formula, where new quantity demanded 120 minus with all quantity demanded 50 divide with all quantity demanded 50 times with all price 20 divide with new price 15 and minus with all price 20. So we get the price elasticity of negative 5.6, and same, just ignore the negative figure, we get the 5.6. So in this we can say that it was the elasticity good because the elasticity we got is more than 1, which is 5.6. So in this we can interpret that as the price of the good decreased by 1%, the quantity demanded for good will increase by 5.6% and vice versa. Okay, next. So based on this, what I can give to guys is I will advise you to choose an elastic demand price because the good at elastic demand is more responsive when the price changes. This is because in elastic demand, the quantity is very responsive because more people will buy it even though the price change a little bit. This is different to inelastic, where in elastic, if the price change a little bit or more, the quantity change only a little bit. Compared to elastic, even the price is decrease or increase a little bit, the quantity will go very far, will change very much. As an example, you can see in the question where for elastic demand, even at $20 and decrease by $15, the quantity demanded changed very much from 50 to 120, which is it increased by 70 unit. Compared to inelastic demand, where the price changed same, which is from $20 to $15, but the quantity changed just a little bit from 80 to 19. So it just increased 10. So it's not responsive too much. And then next slide. Okay, and then we get to maximize the revenue because for elastic demand, the more even the price decrease a little bit, the quantity demand change or increase very much. So people will buy it more. And if people buy it more, the sales got to increase. So manager got to increase their revenue for this, for the company. So that's all for me. And next slide.
Okay, so for the question 2, I will be explaining about this. So first, let us look at the question. They give some of the table about income and the quantity. So at the question, we have to find what type of good X and what type of good Y. And for the second question, they ask us to give an advice to this firm A that is good X and a firm B that is good Y. When the income increase, what should they do with their quantity demand? So yeah, first, okay, let's say first we determine what is good X and what is good Y. So for the good X, I use the formula of QD1 minus by QDO, and then divided by QDO times by YO divided by Y1 and minus by YO. So let's say if QDO is 20, QD1 is 60, and YO is 1,200 and Y1 is 1,600. So if we calculate it, we get 6, and that is more than 1. If the number we get is more than 1, that good is a luxury good. So we can conclude that good X is luxury good. While for the good Y, we use the same formula, but the number is a little bit changed, where QDO is 50, QD1 is 60, YO is 100 and 1,200, and Y1 is 1,600. So we get is less than a 1, between 0 to 1. So if the answer is between 0 to 1, we can say that the good Y is normal good. So for the next, we can put the calculation on the graph just like this, and for the left graph is for the good X, whereby the more income you get, the more quantity it will become. While for the good Y, the more income, but the increase in quantity will be less. So for the B question, first, I would say for the firm B, where for the good X. So for the good X, I would like to suggest him to increase the volume by a lot. Why? Because as we can see in the graph, if we increase the quantity demand in the for the production, the income will increase just by a bit. By increase the income for a bit, and the change in the quantity will be a lot. So I would say that for increasing the goods in good ads will be more profitable and more better to good ad, because good ads is luxury good, whereby people will buy it where they have more money and they will buy more. This thing is the good thing that people used to buy, such as diamond or maybe gold. So for the next good is good Y. Good Y, yes, there is increase in the good Y also. As you can see in the graph, there is also increase in the quantity, but the increase is just a little bit. Where if there is economic boom or there is an increase in income, the quantity will not change that much. The producer I would like to advise is just to increase the production by a bit, so that there is no wasteful, and this thing the price can be controlled. So that's all from me. So next I pass it to Danish.
Okay, for the question number 3, first of all, I will explain a bit about cross-price elasticity. Okay, elasticity measure how sensitive the demand of a product is over a shift of a corresponding product's price. Okay, so when price increase of a complementary product will lead to lower demand or negative cross-price elasticity. Just now I said about negative cross-price elasticity, and now I will say about positive cross-price elasticity, which is a price increase in a substitute product will lead to increased demand. Okay. Okay. As you can see in the slide, based on what the question need, cross-price elasticity between UAV cameras and drones is negative 2.5 when the price of drone drops. Explain what this means in terms of the relationship between the two products. The forecast is that the price of drone will keep dropping. What advice would you have for the UAV camera maker? What? Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So the first 3 points I already explained just now, and the fourth point is when the cross price elasticity is negative because the value is 2.5 between the UAV cameras and drones. This situation happen when the price of drone drop. Okay. Since the cross price elasticity is negative, so that means UAV cameras and drones are complementary products to those who in the photographer section. So in the photographer section, they need to use a lot of UAV cameras and drones for the works. Therefore, if the price of drones will keep dropping, the demand for the UAV cameras will increase because because the consumption of UAV camera will increase. Thus, I will advise a few for the UAV cameras maker to produce more UAV cameras to satisfy its demand for drones. Okay, next slide. Okay, these are my advices to the producer of UAV cameras. Okay, first thing is increase the price of UAV cameras because the demand for UAV camera is currently increasing because the situation. And the second one, it can cause a shortage for the UAV cameras if the price of UAV cameras stay because the demand for UAV camera is not increased and the price of UAV camera does not change. Okay, so when a lot of people buy the UAV cameras, so the supply of UAV camera decreasing and the demand is still high. So as we can think, if a lot of people buy some product, so the product can finish early from the market. So the seller must put a higher price so that there is no shortage on the UAV camera product. And the last advices from me is create a different style for the UAV camera to make buyers look interesting and include the highest specs on technology inside the UAV camera. So in this era, all people use technology. So in the UAV cameras, example, we can put 5G technology, so it can what we call that? It can not connected. It can connect it with the phone, so it will more easier to buyers to control the UAV camera or drones. UAV camera. Okay. When when the uh when the producer put the highest specs, it can the producer can put the highest price it can reach. So that's all for me. Thank you. Next question, Muaz.
Okay, thank you to Danish. Now I will continue to the last question. Discuss the importance of price elasticity of supply in manufacturing sector and agriculture sector. For me, I think that elasticity of supply is something like topic that we learned before this. So we go on to the question. I think the importance of price elasticity is related to the factor influencing price elasticity of supply. Firstly, level of technology. This sector is related to the manufacturing and agricultural sector. When the technology is decreasing, the more price elasticity the quantity supply will be. For example, in manufacturing sector, there must be more worker who are lazy to work. So it can make the quantity supply will decrease. If they have a technology, the quantity supply will fix and it will increase if the technology is increased. For agriculture sector, when the farmer use the technology, it will increase quantity supply, raw material, and it will save the time. Okay, the next one is supply capacity. This factor can relate to the manufacturing sector. This factor is about labor and raw material. For example, we'll assume that the quantity supply is more than quantity demand. The term is, we call it surplus. Suddenly, demand is increased. So we can use the labor and raw material which are available to produce the product. So it can make the cost of production will decrease and it also can avoid from waste the raw material. Okay, the lastly is availability of inventory. This factor can relate to the agriculture sector. For example, we assume that now Mandarin orange has a low demand, right? If the farmer can keep it without loss quality until the Chinese New Year, so they no need to spend more cost and then can sell it because at that time the demand will increase. That's all from me. Now I will back to Alpha.
Okay, thank you, Muaz. So I hope that with this presentation, you all can add a little bit of your knowledge on the topic of elasticity for business economy. So that's all from us. Thank you everyone for give your time to listening for us, and thank you, Madam Nasrin. And that's all. Have a good day.